And please welcome Mario! Hey! Ah, man, I gotta say, you guys seriously get some kind of a hobby or something where you perform and then beg these guys to feature. Because, man, that's the nicest anyone has said anything about me in a while. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I thought they were calling me up earlier when they called T up, because they said, funny comic, famous bodybuilder. I was like, all right, it's me. They're calling, this is my spot. They didn't tell me they were calling me early, but okay. And surprise, surprise, it was another bodybuilder that you called up. Yeah, I've been building this. So yeah, make sure you put lots and lots and lots of money in that, by the way, guys. So how are we doing tonight? We're drinking the sober beverages. Yeah. What are we doing? Like, this is a kratom crowd or a kava crowd?
Kratom, yes.
I'm hearing more kratom, yeah. I love kratom myself. I wish I had known about it back in the day. I spent way too much money on Percocets in college. And if someone told me you could get the same effect from like a fruity drink, man, I would have been all over that shit. Where was I? I love kava bars. I love that that some kava bars will advertise themselves as being sober bars. And kava bar is one of the only places where you can hear someone brag about how they've been sober for like 13 years before they face plant into a beanbag chair. It's great. I love it. I love weird places and wacky people. Kava bar is also safer, right? It's safer than a regular bar, right? More positive attitude, less risk. If you're drunk at a bar, you get an accident, you get a DUI on the way home, right? You ruin your life. If you leave from a kava bar, drooling all over yourself after a couple of those high-powered drinks they have back there, swerving all over the road, the cops will pull you over, they breathalyze you. You'd be free to go if you're white. Professor, I don't make the rules.
Get away with it, it's fine.
So it's Halloween night, and you guys are here. Clap it up for yourselves. This is awesome, yeah. I remember trick-or-treating, and it was a lot of fun. I don't know if I would go trick-or-treating nowadays. Right? First of all, way less drugs in the candy, right? So that's not as fun. But also, it seems like the trick-or-treating game has changed. You go to these neighborhoods, and it's all just kids on golf carts with their parents. How fun could that be, right? I don't know. You just want to tell them, live a little, right? Get off the golf cart, go egg a house or something. Go silly straight house. Worst thing that'll happen is the cops catch you. They'll give you a talking to, and you'll be free to go if you're white. That's a callback. My name is Mario. For those who don't know, that is my actual name. I got it from my parents, which is a weird place to get a name, I think. They didn't fucking know me, right? I don't know. We still allow that in society. I don't know. I think that should be a crime, naming your kid. Especially Mario. The video game existed at the time. They knew better. But they wanted to give me an Italian name because my dad's Italian, and Italian people are prideful for some reason. I can't figure it out. It doesn't make sense. They're not great people. They're not fun people. They're not very interesting people, right? Every Italian you know who acts like an Italian is just emulating a movie. Right? There's three kinds of Italians. There's the party Italians, like the Jersey Shore types. We don't even fucking claim them. And there's everyday people who just go about their lives and don't say things like, hey, You can like every Italian, you can order a fucking calzone without him calling you a paisan. Like, fuck you, like shut the fuck up and put mushrooms in it. And then there's movie Italians, and that's like most of my family. These are the people who think that like The Godfather was about them. My dad literally, like, he won't watch Goodfellas because he thinks that his family was actually in the Lufthansa heist. It's borderline psychotic. And like, for years, if someone asked me, like, oh, your name's Mario, your family must be connected, right? I would do that same fucking shit that all your Italian friends do. I'd be like, oh, no, I'm not supposed to, talking about that. We got some people up in New York, whatever, the old country. That just means no. Italians aren't connected to shit. Italians aren't even connected to the internet. They're too cheap for Verizon and too creepy for the bartender to give the password to. The whole Italian persona, the famous one that you see in these, it's just based on those two Joe Pesci movies, right? Those two Joe Pesci movies, My Cousin Vinny and Home Alone 2. So I'm getting married. Yeah. To Bob Ross in the corner. Our wedding's coming up. Actually, this is the last mic I'll be at, where I'm a single man. We're a free man. Like, people still fucking say shit like that, right? Like, oh, you're getting married, you're gonna have to listen to what she says. Like, what they don't tell you is that when you get married, yeah, you do have to listen to your wife. You don't have to listen to any other women ever again, though. It's like having secret superpowers. Like, if I'm at the gym, rarely, just because I don't need to go because it's bodybuilder physique, but if I'm at the gym and like I'm using a machine and some hot chick comes over and she asks me if I'm done with the machine, like, I'll say no. And then I check myself. I'm like, did I just... It's like I can fly. It's like the first day you wake up not hungover after the first night of not drinking in a long time. And you feel like you're super... It's like that, right? Like, I tip bartenders for good service. I laugh at female comedians when they are funny. And they're funny a lot. But that's when I laugh at them. When they're funny. It's like having superpowers. But when you're in a committed relationship, and it's a happy relationship, and it's faithful, and all those good things, there still are needs that aren't met. Like, I'm sure everybody who has like the creepy uncle who will say things like, well, I might have made my selection, but I can still look at the menu before he like flirts with the 16-year-old at Chick-fil-A. Like, that uncle, right? Well, like, that's fucked up, but there's something to, I might be eating my meat, but I still need to hunt. I don't know. And so I find old instincts coming through in new ways. I have man crushes with the ferocity with which I used to lust after women. I want dudes to be my friends, and I find myself figuring out ways to trick dudes into being my friends. It's kind of working on Matt over there. I'll check back in with you about it in a couple of months. But I find myself going after the same kind of guys of the women I used to go after. The broken ones. I want a guy friend who is damaged. Like, I want someone I can fix. I want someone who, and there's some people in this crowd who are contenders, let me tell you what. I want a dude friend who will let me in, romantically. Because that's the kind of girl I used to go after, I had an ex-girlfriend years and years ago who ended up killing herself. Not because of me. There was a gap. There was a healthy gap where I can claim that I had nothing to do with how damaged she got then. And years later, I was cleaning out a dresser and I found a box of her stuff, and there was a book called, a self-help book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. So that book didn't fucking work, did it? Yeah, don't buy that book if you're trying to... Anyway, tangent. So I just want to be friends with guys who I can fix. And I have a guy in mind. I met a dude at one of these. Of course, right? He's got tattoos on both of his arms, a couple on his face. wears a leather jacket, still smokes cigarettes. Right? Still smokes cigarettes. Which, like, cigarettes are a lot like dogs in a lot of ways, like man's best friend. Good joke. But I think I have a way in with this guy too, because his dad recently died. So he's vulnerable. The gears are already turning. I'm like, maybe I'll call him up, see if he needs to talk, invite him over to my house, introduce him to Kratom. Quit poisoning your body with pills and alcohol. Try Kratom, right? If you say Kratom 10 times up here, they give you a free one. So Kratom. And introduce him to AEW wrestling, not that corporate WWE bullshit. And really get like fix his life. Is this what Christianity feels like? I feel like this is what Christianity feels like. Is that you're not allowed to fuck, so you just like constantly crush it on dudes that you want to fix. Alright? I don't know. I was raised, my dad's Italian, but my mom's Jewish, so I was raised half Jewish, and these holidays that really blow my mind, because like the Jews don't have slutty holidays. Well, we have holidays about sluts, don't get me wrong. Like the whole holiday of Purim is like, once again, people were trying to kill the Jews, and then this one Jew was like, hey king, how about you can, fuck me for a while if you don't kill all my people? And the king was like, cool, right? And that's a slutty holiday, right? But like, kids dress up for that one. Not too slutty, within reason. It's not the Catholic Church, so like, modest. But yeah, we don't have slutty holidays in Judaism. I don't know, that's just an observation. Let's see here. Go to the notes here. So my name is Mario. That's my actual name, and as you can tell from my wonderful physique, people sometimes ask me to try to help them fix things. And, I'm a guy, so I go along with it to some extent. Like the other day, my friend Ken, he was coming off of meth or going on to meth, doing something involving meth, and one way in that, it doesn't matter. He asked me to help him fix his air conditioner. And being a guy, I said what every guy here would say, I'll take a look at it. So I'm looking at it, scratching my head, eventually I'm like, that's not blowing, huh? Looks like you gotta call somebody. Yeah, I don't know. And people sometimes think I can help them with their relationships too. My friend Mike asked me if I could, listen to his problems with his relationship. He was telling me about his thing that's not working out with his girl, and eventually I was listening, and I was like, so she's not blowing, huh? I think you gotta call somebody. I'm just kidding. Mike is here tonight, and he does not have a girlfriend. Ladies? You ever experience this? You ever have your left arm go numb, and then your right arm goes numb, so you figure everything's fine? That's a one-liner. Here's the newest one. So the Daily Wire is making their own version of Snow White. They're making an anti-woke Snow White. So in this one, when the prince kisses her, she just stays asleep. She doesn't wake up. I still don't know what woke means. Like, you only hear people saying the word woke, like, when they're describing anything, but, like, it's so broad. Some of you like, McDonald's French fries are too woke for me. I don't know. Yeah, so, like, I just use it for anything I don't like, I don't know. I do think that there's one thread I've noticed where, like, people say that TV is woke when there's, like, a woman who's in charge or a woman who's, like, right about stuff a lot. And they seem to be very mad at that. Like, oh, this show's woke. There's all these women who are right about stuff. And it's like, dude, just turn the TV off and go outside. There's plenty of women who are wrong about a lot of stuff. Like, you can get your fill on that. It's everywhere. Let them have a TV show. Let's see here. Okay, so this joke is going to start off in a little bit of an uncomfortable place. Then it's going to go to a place that, like, maybe like only one or two of you guys know what I'm talking about. Then it's going to end in a place that we can all relate on, okay? I was going to say this once. We need to just bite the bullet and move Israel to Iowa. We need to do it. We need to pick them up, But they'll figure out a way. Just move them to Iowa. And I know that, like, when you leave shitty neighbors, you don't want to, like, end up with new shittier neighbors. That's kind of what we would do in Peter, but I feel like if you drop in a cornfield somewhere, no one would really notice. Pretty soon, the whole place would be, like, temperature controlled, and it'd have a really good economy, you know. And they'd be going from a place where people wear hijabs and blow things up, and moving to a place where their neighbors would be Slipknot. You know, so they wear masks and bang on trash cans. It's different. I don't know if it's better, but it's different, right? And speaking of which, how and when did the bros steal Slipknot from the metalheads? Like, who the fuck saw that coming? How did when and how did the bros steal Slipknot? Like, when I was a kid cutting myself to the second Mudvayne album, I never thought, because the first one was heavy, but the second one was nice and dark, where you can get those, like, nice deep grooves in your upper thigh. I never thought that I'd be standing in line behind a guy in a Salt Life shirt to get a Red Bull at a Slipknot concert. It doesn't make any sense. The bros stealing Slipknot from the metalheads, and, you know, the metalheads, they gave the bros Five-Finger Death Punch. They were like, we don't want this nonsense. We leased them Avenged Sevenfold. We're like, you can have them until they make a good album again, and, you know, it hasn't happened since they were in high school. Anyway, it doesn't make sense, but you know, the bros stealing Slipknot from the metalheads, it's kind of like how straight people stole eating ass from the gays. Like, you never saw it coming, but in hindsight, it makes total sense. Dude, that's my joke now. Fuck yeah. Punch up, okay. You guys believe in God?
Yeah.
My people. Do you guys think God is a man? That's kind of outdated, right? I don't think anyone... I mean, people who believe in God do think God's a man, but they don't say it out loud anymore, right? You guys think God's a woman?
God's non-binary. It's an entity.
Well, you know, close to what you were thinking there, the Slam. You go by Slam or... Anyway. I think God is trans, actually. I think God is trans. Because God is not real. Sorry. I can balance out, you know, the jokes. Let's see here. Right, I thought so. Let's see here. We're going to do... Okay, yeah. So, you wouldn't know it, necessarily, listening to all the bullshit I've just said. But actually, in real life, I work as a therapist.
Nice. Huh.
Oh, yeah. Clap it up for me, man. Yeah. Fucking T. Davis was here, who's a veteran, but I have to listen to veterans talk for 45 minutes every other hour, and that's annoying, so clap it up for me. Yeah, there's different kinds of people, right? Like when wars break out, there are like the folks who want to figure out how they can get into the military. My breed, my group of friends, probably most people here are the people who scramble to figure out what ailments we might have so we can get out of it. Fortunately, because I'm Jewish, I was blessed with a thing called Crohn's disease, so I'm safe from that. So I can get up here and tell jokes for another 2 minutes before I have to use the bathroom. Anyway. So I'm a therapist in real life, and it's one of those jobs, like during COVID, I was a therapist in a hospital, and people would say things like, oh, you're a hero, it's a noble profession. No, it's not. The whole job is just telling people to do the opposite of what they're already doing. I'll prove it to you. If you have someone who's overeating, they're worried about their weight, they're eating their feelings, you try to get them to stop eating so much. If you have a client who's anorexic, you're trying to get them to start eating, right? If you have someone who's addicted to pills, you're trying to get them to stop taking those pills. Maybe start taking some kratom, right? If you have someone who's bipolar or something and they don't want to take their meds, then you're trying to get them to start taking their pills. The whole job is just, what are you currently doing? Have you tried not doing that? Cool, do the opposite for a week. Tell me how that feels. During COVID, it was interesting because, the nurses would be like, oh, we did CPR on this guy and got him back to life, and the doctor would be like, oh, I'm giving him these, emergency treatments, and then I'd be like, and he told me he's sad. Not very essential work. When you're a therapist in the hospital, you hear a lot of excuses from people who wake up from drug overdoses. And it's interesting, I've learned to not really believe a lot, but I like to be open-minded and hear some interesting stories. Like one person told me that the reason that they were positive for cocaine was because they mistook the salt shaker for the cocaine shaker when they were making chicken. And I'm no sommelier, but I'm pretty sure that cooks out. So, one lady told me that she was positive for drugs because she gave her boyfriend a blowjob. And so we know two things about her, right? We know that she's a liar and that she swallows. My favorite one, this is absolutely real, and it's probably been heard before, but one person who was positive for everything under the sun, he tried to give me the Seinfeld defense, which is I ate a bagel. Right, and that's why I was positive for opiate. I ate a bagel, and I was like, dude, with the list here, it says cocaine, MDMA, THC, opiates. And this motherfucker looked at me and said, well, it was an everything bagel. Yeah, I didn't write that one. Someone else did. That's a true story. Anyway, so when you're in a hospital, there's different codes that'll play overhead to tell you if you're staff that there's an emergency. They don't want to alarm the patients, right? So code red is fire, right? Code gray is security. Code pink is someone stole a baby, which is adorable, right? But in some hospitals they don't use the code system. They actually use a system where they say paging doctor, and then they come up with a fun little pun. This is absolutely true. So for security, they'll say paging Dr. Strong, right? And another one, this is real, and for fire, there's a paging Dr. Inferno, which is way worse than hey, there's a fire. Paging Dr. Inferno sounds like a Marvel character is attacking, right? Paging Dr. Inferno from Call Aquaman or whatever. But the thing those are bad. There's some other hospital overhead codes that are even a little bit more touchy, I think. For instance, for a dementia patient on the loose, they say paging Dr. Biden. Yeah, right? I don't know how they thought of that one 20 years ago. For a bomb threat, they say paging Dr. Mohammed. I know. It's fucked up, right? Because there's 7 Dr. Mohammeds in my hospital. How are we supposed to know which one planted the bomb? And when they need a patient to be sedated, they say paging Dr. Huxtable. Think about it for a second. Let's see here. How much time do I have? Okay, so as therapists, you get to work with a lot of different kinds of people. Sometimes they're just normal folks who want help, and sometimes they can be kind of scary. Sometimes you work with murderers. You work with rapists, right? And trans people. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. No one works with them. Kidding again. But yeah. So I thought that I was a pretty good therapist because I thought that I could handle sitting across from the worst of people. I don't have a poker face with it. Someone tells me, that if I'm seeing someone in a prison setting or a psych setting, and telling me about how they they murdered their mother-in-law or something, and they raped their stepmother. I'm like, you know what? Okay, I can sit with that. But there's one group of people that recently I've realized I can't sit across from, and they freak me out. And these are the adult diapering community. Are you guys familiar with this? Unfortunately. Now, I'm not talking about people who need diapers. I'm not talking about elderly people. And it's not even a fetish, apparently. It's just people who just like to wear diapers for some reason, and it freaks me the fuck out, and it makes me feel like I'm not a very good therapist, because I'm not supposed to like get like skeeved out by people, but like, you know, like again, I've sat across from rapists, I've sat across from Asians, like I've sat across from any kind of person, but the adult diapering people really bother me, and I think I figured out why. It's because I just can't relate to that at all. Like, on some level, if I'm sitting across from someone who, like, killed his parents, on some level, I'm like, I mean, you shouldn't, but I get it. You sit across from someone who, like, you know, raped his stepmother, you're like, I mean, don't, but was she hot? I mean, don't, though, you know, like, I get it. The diapering thing, I can't relate to it at all, and I think that's what, you know, like, really set me, you know, like, I can't, deal with it. And there's some other reasons too, though, I think. One is, let's see, I'm going to continue to pretend to laugh while I'm remembering this fucking joke.
This is part of the show.
Yeah, this is part of the show. Oh yeah, that's right. Fucking, like I said, I have Crohn's disease. One day I might actually need those diapers, and in this economy, I think you fuckers running up the bill on them shits. But the other reason, I think the real reason, is I'm worried that if I learn about it, I might start, like, getting interested in it. Like, if someone, like, I'm very, very, like, you know, like, you can convince me of anything, you know? Like, if you're trying to tell me all the reasons why you should kill yourself, I might start nodding my head. Like, I'll still say no, but, you know, like, I'm very gullible, right? I say stupid shit. I've said out loud, well, if we didn't have taxes, who would build the roads? Like, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, I still thank the troops for their service. Like, I'm very gullible, so I'm worried that if someone were to, like, tell me all the merits of wearing diapers, I might start to be like, hey, Julian, next time we're out shopping, want to pick up some, yeah. I'm worried about it, so I stay away from those clients at some points. It seems like it would be, right? So let's see here. Oh, geez, we want to do that one?
Yes.
Okay.
You gotta think about it, go for it.
Okay, cool, got the light, perfect. We're all friends here, right? So comedy, you can probably tell by everything that's just going on, it's hard, right? It's not the easiest thing in the world. It's difficult for me because I really enjoy laughing. I see the humor in things, and yet it's not always easy to write a joke about things, right? Like for instance, like there was a story in India where a monkey stole a baby and threw it off a roof. And like, sad, but kind of funny, right? But like, you get the image of the monkey like stealing the baby and then just being like, why do I have this? Yeah, like kind of Lord of the Ringsing it, just kind of. Yeah. But anyway, that's like, you know, it's like you can laugh, but it's hard to write a joke about that, right? Here's a case in point. Not that long ago, Trump was in the news for saying that nuclear weapons is the other N-word. You guys hear about that? And like, you know, the news cycle just blew past it because of all the other crazy shit that's in the news. But yeah, Trump said that nuclear is the other N-word. And that's kind of funny, right? Like, it's fucked up, right? On all kinds of levels, but it's a little bit funny. But I can't, for the life of me, come up with a joke for it, though. Like, I feel like if I could crack that one, if I could make a perfect joke for that, I would transcend and be like a rich and famous comedian. But I can't. So I guess I'll just stay nuclear rich. Black guy's laughing, I'm off the hook for that one. Alright, so, let me get out of here. But guys, seriously, take good care of yourselves. I tried yoga, because, you know, I'm trying to, like, be healthy when I get in shape for the wedding. I didn't have the best experience, but I hope you guys do if you try it. I'll tell you about my experience, though. The yoga instructor told me to listen to my body. So I did. Now my yoga instructor has a restraining order out on me. So I've got to go. All right, have a good night.